Slightly changed. Okay, great. Slightly changed. That's the picture we want. Okay. Well, we're live now. I've got welcome to Friday Flow. Well, I'm actually changing the name. I don't know if I mentioned this before, but I like the name Flow Forum better. But the because I was up late last night, I tried to take some extra time this morning to sleep in, and that always has an effect like this, where I'm now like, oh, I have these things that I'm trying to put together, and I don't have them put together. So I'm opening up my. Opening up my documents here for. Oh, I want to make a copy. That's what I want to do. All right. Which one's the copy? So Google has a different way of copying things. Google Docs has a different way of copying things than Microsoft Windows. And that right now I just copied something and I had to move the columns of the file folder in order to see which one it was. This is one of the benefits that Google has. They put the copy of in the front, so you know which one's the copy.
I've never used Google Docs.
Yeah, missing out totally. What's going on here? Do I not have my video on?
No, you don't.
Oh, I know why. Oh, that's great. That's funny. Oh, so if Miriam Ortiz Pino is here, she would say, "Looks like you got things too complicated." She's all about simplicity, which is great. But I like trying out these new things, which is the reason I'm doing this. Good morning, Annie.
Morning. Howdy,
So, what's that?
Howdy, howdy.
Howdy. So, I guess I'll change this up. I know what's going on with my video, but it's inspired me to do something. So, I have set up here, and actually, I gotta move this. I have my Zoom screen on the secondary screen. I have this camera that just got caught on something. This camera set up over here as a webcam. But the problem is it's not set up as a webcam right now. But the setting that I'd had last on was for that. So I'll show you this since it's come out. So this is a Canon EOS Rebel T6, and the it usually has a battery like this. But if you're using these things as a webcam, they really suck up the battery real fast. So then I bought this thing that then injects in here. And this was all because I was trying to record this mess that's behind me, trying to fix all this up, right? So I'm trying to use it as like eventually it's going to be promotional or educational stuff. So I don't want to clean up too fast, you know. I have an excuse. Anyway, but this is the camera I want to use, not just some webcam on the top of my phone, because you'll see the difference here in a moment when I get it set up. All right, so I have a tripod Let's see, can I show this? I have a tripod set up that I'm going to put it on here in a moment. Right there. It's not right there. It's right there. Do we see it? Okay, there it is. Isn't that fun? Look at that. Getting sideways, looking at this delightful garage I got and everything. All right, so that's the camera I'm setting up. These are so this guy connects with a USB in the side of the computer here. And I found if I use, it's not a USB-C, it's a USB mini. And that is probably in the case here. So I took the camera away to go use it for an actual like picture taking event. And then I didn't come back and set it back up again. But it's kind of exciting because I'm figuring out ways when I record for those for the YouTube sessions of cleaning my garage, the more steps I can remove from the process, the more likely I am to actually do the recordings and do the organizing. So I've gotten this webcam utility set up. Here, let me see if I can rotate this so that you can see my wonderful setting up of the tripod. Nope, not yet. Where's that tripod? Right here. The way I've got my computer desk set up makes this all not quite like all my cords are over here and they're in a thing that kind of keeps them organized, but also then makes it so I can't move the laptop. Okay. Anyway, so there's the camera getting put in place, and I'm taking off the lens cap, so that stuff. And I aim it myself. But then I've got this USB cord. Nope, that's the power cord. Okay, USB cord. All right, that I'm going to plug in. I even have on the USB cord, in order to identify that it's the camera, I have this piece of plastic that I cut out sort of in the shape of a camera. But I know that's which one it is. And I'll plug in this in. There we go. Okay. So in a moment, you're going to see the difference between what it does and this webcam. So I'm going to switch my video source. CES webcam. And I'm going to turn it. Oh, I'm going to go back because I want it more obvious than that. So go back to the integrated camera. I forgot to turn it on. Okay, give me all these nice sounds saying that EOS Canon T Rebel is on, and now I gotta. Okay, I've made a system that makes everything much more smooth, haven't I? All right. So I don't want to use this other utility. Okay, great. Now I think I'll be able to switch back, and you'll see like, bam, all the neatness. There it goes. See? I'm not sure what you're seeing here, but as far as like improvement. But if I move this closer to myself, it makes the background all nice and blurry, or at least it looks pretty cool if I really got it set up. But right now it's just sort of there. Also, it's nice if I have it like lined up with so the webcam, when I look at you, I'm actually looking at you, whereas right now it's way over here. So it looks like I'm not looking at you, but I am. And that's one of the disadvantages of having a separate camera. Anyway, so that's that. I am going to be, for the sake of conversation and eye contact and all that, I'm going to switch back to the webcam, because to get this set up so it's in front of me is another to do. And I might do that next time or something, but We're gonna keep things simple. There we go. All right. So that was fun. I got my rearranged my whole desk here for that little show and tell. But it was really something. Okay, so the topic today. Why is my mouse not working? Did it get unplugged in the process? This is great. You're seeing all sorts of technical difficulties. Oh, I see. It's not even plugged in. Okay. No, it is. Isn't it? All right, so my mouse is plugged into, oh, there it is. Okay. Now, where's my audio? Is it in this guy now?
Hello,
Annie,
are you there?
Yeah, okay. So it's still not in these headphones. So is this headphones plugged in? No, they're not. Okay.
Good morning.
Good morning.
So again, Annie, you may or may not have heard, but I was up till like 2 o'clock last night working on finance stuff because I have my financial document stuff sort of messed up, and I'm trying to figure out how to set that up, and I like to figure that out. But my well, something that really also additionally messed me up was one, I'm moving from this whatever I was doing before. I was putting everything on an Excel document, and then I'm going to Wave, which is a financial. It's supposed to make things easier, which is cool, except that I'm moving from one system to the other, and the transition takes more time, especially when some of my accounts weren't what I was using for my business because I had my cards and stuff got stolen. And so that there's like a chunk between Q1 and Q2 that I have, finance stuff's in the wrong place, and it's really, really annoying. Anyway, so trying to do that last night, so I'm ahead of the game as far as like financial things go, but I've been so busy with work, which is great, that I haven't had time to do the background stuff, or I haven't made time to do the background stuff. So, and also spending time with family, it's all a big balance. And so you guys are catching what I decided to push off today, which is getting ready for this, which is also kind of fun because one of the things I like to do is share everything going on. Okay, so I'm gonna go to screen share here.
I see you changed your hat.
Yes, it's summer.
Ah, okay. So
So
that's the summer hat. Okay.
this is my summer hat. Yeah, because the other one, it has a nice look to it and everything, but it's also felt, which breathes a bit, but doesn't breathe as much. So
Right.
there we go.
All righty.
Thank you for noticing. Have more of the summer go.
Summer look there. Okay.
That's right.
Gotcha.
Does it impress as summer? What have I got over here? Do I want to just do the screen too? No, I don't think I do. I think I want to do. Oh, is this the one I want? Nope, that's not the one I want. That's last week's. You can see this is regenerative. Oh no, that is the copy. Okay, good. This one over here is the one I don't want. Okay. Now I'll move this guy over here. So these are notes from last week, but this week we got a different topic. Let's zoom out. Okay, so we're live on YouTube this whole time. I'm recording all of our nonsense, including mine, going back and forth. We've got engaged challenges, attended a whim. And so I was engaging challenges there by, sharing with you all the challenge I was facing in this space, with this camera and everything else. So I'm trying to set an example. Isn't that nice? And then connect your business topic with the business with the topic. And I use these use these slides as a guide to remember what I want to talk about. Attendee greeting is what we're gonna do the intro, a quick intro, then you're gonna do attendee greeting. You're gonna post your your contact information in chat there, so that I know which order we're gonna go in. I'm gonna put that on here. So post on chat for order. Great. And I don't want that a big thing, but I'm not gonna try and format that right now. Okay. So welcome to Adam's Friday Flow. We're here finally, 15 minutes in. I mean, we've been here the whole time. This is part of the flow. So Adam's, and again, trying to change the name to Flow Forum. I've thought about moving it to Mondays. Was one thing, but the real reason is because I want to impress the forum idea. Because if you noticed, I have ideas and I sometimes interact, but a lot of times I'll give other people the floor. So it's really just a time to kind of, interact and talk about ideas and get a better sense of it. And it's a good excuse to get out and chit chat. In fact, John is going to talk about QR codes here. I'm thinking June 2nd. If that works for you, John. You'll get back to me.
Yeah, June 2nd's fine.
Okay, this is not the challenge question. Did any of you guys answer the challenge question?
Oh, yeah, I did.
What was the question?
Which one can you control better? Commitment, passion, or uncertainty, I think it was. The three things. You don't
Yes.
remember, Adam? You must not have had enough sleep.
Well, I set that up a week ago. So commitment, passion, or certainty.
Certainty. I think that was the three questions. Which one can we control more?
Okay. And with the just as a quick, so this is last week's answer, so we'll give it to that. But what I can do here is I can go onto my wonderful, come on, you. I can go to this link. I'm gonna open the link, open somewhere, open hyperlink. There we are. And I could find out where that was and see June. Great. And I'm gonna pull it up here just because I want to get your feedback as it's typed real quick. So I go to here and manage attendees. You probably see my mouse moving around, but you don't see what I'm moving it around on. I like this. Okay, so someone said passion. Someone said commitment and passion. And another person said commitment. Okay. And I'm not too sure if this other person's going to join us or not, but commitment got 3 and passion. Oh wait, was commitment? Oh, I think commitment got 2 out of 4. No, out of 3. And then passion got 2 out of 3. Which is funny because someone said 2. That's funny. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Okay, that's great. Thank you for that voting feedback. All right, so we're gonna go into with that little conversation teaser. This transition part is another one of those things that I'm sort of adjusting as I go and I'm learning as I do it, and that's a big part of my thing. Is experimentation. Is that's how we learn how things can work sometimes. I'm just trying it. So if you haven't already, as John has or did before you joined, Annie, put your information in the chat, and then I'll know what order we're going to do it in. And if you you guys already know, make it clickable and publishable. And then what we're going to do is, oh, the topic. Did I put a topic? Anyway, I'll put on the topic in a moment. I'm going to go ahead and, wait, am I still sharing the screen? I don't see my green.
No, you got a slide, I think, up.
But do you see it?
I see a slide.
Oh, that's good. Spoken intro, because it doesn't have the green bar around it on my screen here.
You're still on slide 1, I think. You probably want slide 4 or something.
Oh, how'd that happen?
I don't know. Can't get good people nowadays.
Oh my goodness. So I'm not sharing the screen. It says I'm sharing this thing. Oh, it was probably because I jumped away to that web page, and then anyway, that's good to notice though. So now I'm back. All right, so we're sharing what I'm talking about here. So you're gonna share your name, how your business works, and what your quest is. This is great. Yeah. So I'll start with mine because that is okay. What have we got going on here? I'm gonna close that guy. What's this one here? No, that one's fine to have open. All right, I just want to make sure that when I start using this particular browser, I'm not going to. Okay, so here's my web page. I'm thinking about changing the background of this thing, so someone else picked that up for me. I think it's a little busy. It's like I already have the logo there and there's too much in the background, but that's okay. We'll work on it. I'm gonna have a new website, but this is part of my thing is I experiment with people to create oxygen for their ideas. So oxygen for organ. Find me. And that's the big thing. So you're getting to see all this experiment is. But I think I've talked enough already, so I'm going to move on to the next person. And John, you had your stuff right in here. What do we got? Chat. Oh, and Annie's added on too now. Great. We're on board. Okay, so John, you don't have a web page, so I'm going to stop. You go ahead and give your spiel.
Sure. So found myself retired in Albuquerque, and that's a whole story in itself, and been spending my time getting up to date on all the kind of software kinds of things and trying to figure out what I'm going to do now that I'm retired. And what I've discovered is that I'm not really ready to go to work at 40 hours or more a week. And I like working from home, and with computer stuff, that's a real possibility. So I'm settling on that. One of the things I've done successfully in the past was consulting on, by most people would consider, small electronic projects, automation, doing something special with sensing and so forth, but doing that from home. And so as I get settled on that, the web page will come. It's just low on my priorities at the moment.
That's good. I mean, the reason I've even tried to do anything more on my web page is because of the times, right? And the making that because the COVID closed everybody in.
Yeah.
And so I was like, well, I better get that done. Whereas my placeholder was good enough for the time being.
On the other, I've seen my brother who runs these, grows tomatoes, a whole variety of them.
Yeah.
And he switched over to doing stuff on the web, hired a guy to come in and redo his website. And while almost all his business was going to farmers markets, but this last year he switched, I would think close to 90% of his business came from online orders. So
wow.
um, uh, the I can't get over how powerful the web is.
Yeah.
One of the things that getting ready to talk about QR codes.
Yeah.
Do you know that there are over 3 billion smartphones out there? 3 billion of them. I mean, so if you've got something that you can point at any webcam and any smartphone and get to your website, what an opportunity. I mean, it just
Yeah.
blows my mind. I can't even imagine what 3 billion really means.
And I've been able to help some clients actually use QR codes to make their systems move more smoothly just from home. Like there's one person had something for their stockbroker that had wanted them to vote on something, and she keeps on putting it off. I'm like, well, there's a QR code here, so if you point your camera at it, you can click on that and you can vote and you're done in 5 seconds.
Good application. That's great.
Yeah. So that's cool. Well, those are good to know, and that's a great way to get going on there. All right, so Annie, I'm going to see if I can pull your stuff up if I've opened too many windows here as I'm like trying to sort myself out in the background. You've got your LinkedIn, and then you have your corecommunityhousing.com. Is there something new on here? Is it all?
No, there isn't. I mean,
Okay.
you know,
talking.
you
You're
have to
talking about
open
going
it.
different. You go ahead and talk. All right. You're talking about going a different direction.
Right, yeah. Oh, yeah. My name is Annie Irizarry. I am the CEO and founder of Core Community Housing, which is a sustainable, our business is in real estate, but a different kind of real estate. It's not a traditional sense, it's a sustainable community development. So that's basically the overarching quest for this business. But my personal quest, along with my business quest, is acquiring enough real estate assets for passive income
That's great.
and generational income. That's my personal quest. So business quest and personal quest are very much tied together.
Yeah. And you know, that passive income, that's kind of a quest. And when I push it further, it's also like, so why do you want the passive income? What are you trying to
Freedom and
figure out?
lifestyle that allows me, that affords me the freedom and the lifestyle to live the life I want to live.
Yeah. And so quest is also kind of like a big question. So what is it that you're trying to figure out if you're able to, like, this might be a little broad, but I like to just toss it in there since you've been around for a while.
I'll say the question again. What is it that say
What's
the question?
Is there a big question you feel like you've been trying to answer your whole life or just recently or?
Yeah, well, for at least the last 15 years I've been trying to, is to get to that nice sweet spot of passive income.
Okay.
So I can basically retire on my terms.
Yeah.
And provide generational income for my family.
Cool.
Sounds like a good idea.
Robert Kiyosaki quadrant.
Yeah. 4 quadrants.
I'm on the B and the I, and I'm working towards that. There are things that I'm putting in place that will allow me to do that. So
yeah, that's cool.
Right, I have the tool sets to do it. Now I'm also doing the sustainable community development, which is also going to be a source of, I'm diversifying my portfolio, let's put it that way. In a true form of investing in passive income, I have to diversify. I've always known that since I was in my 20s. I've never really deviated from that. That has always been the goal all my life.
Wow. It's trying to figure out how to get a passive income?
Well, yeah, or I've always believed in diversification, right? In life, in my investing approach, right? So I'm creating multiple sources of income so that I'm minimizing my risk, or my risks, if you will.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. And trying to do that is not easy. It's very challenging.
Yeah.
But if I do it and I get to that goal, then it's autopilot when I get to that goal. I don't have to work as hard or as much. I can work smart, but not work long hours. I'm making the sacrifice for the time being in the short term in order to achieve the long term. I have a philosophy in life, and that is whatever it is I'm doing today has to be a part of the future. What is it that I'm doing today? Is this helping me for my future?
I like
and
that.
If it doesn't, then it's off my table.
Yeah, we're getting closer to what I'm aiming for. That's great. So, how do you make what you're doing now invest in your future? It sounds kind of like what the question is that you're searching for.
Right. I mean, what I'm doing now has the financial impact. It also has the social and environmental impact. The sustainable community is leaving behind a legacy better for future generations. So that's the big picture. And then as part of that big picture, I'm part of that big picture, right? My daughter is part of that. So by doing this sustainable community, I'm transforming the real estate industry, number one. I'm disrupting it, number two. And number three, it will force people to think of lifestyle in a different way.
Disrupting lifestyle.
Yep, it is. It's very different.
So, give that again. What are those 4 things?
3 things, right?
3 things.
Right. I'm leaving a legacy that is better for our environment because our global climate change is reaching epic proportions. And if we keep going the way we're going, it's not going to get any better. It's going to get worse. So part of this sustainable community is a contribution to society in the environmental sense in a positive way, right? And then the second is, as part of that effort, that's a big picture effort. The second part of that is I'm taking advantage. I'm not taking advantage, but there's opportunities for me personally as an individual. And then number 3, to leave a legacy for my family, financial security for my family, for my daughter at least. So generational income.
Generational income? Oh, is that the financial security thing?
Yeah, right. Multi-generational income. So in other words, I'm leaving something behind, not just a mountain of debt for my daughter, but something for her that she can so environmental and stewardship is the first one. The second one is my personal goals are part of that, are part of number 1. And number 3 is for future generation. And a disruption, it's a disruption, right? It's an environmental stewardship that disrupts the real estate industry. It's a disruption to that. The opportunities, which is a disruption.
That's great.
And the multi-generational passive income. So in other words, in Kiyosaki mode, I'm no longer trading my time for money in the JOB sense. I am being a business owner and an investor. They go hand in hand. There's a difference. I'm already at the BNI. I'm working on the BNI quadrant instead of the ENS quadrant. If you've read Rich Dad Poor Dad, Kiyosaki talks about that.
That's great.
Right, so the bad debt versus the good debt and the asset debt that produces.
John, have you heard of the Kiyosaki Rich Dad Poor Dad stuff?
No, I'm not familiar with that.
So he's a big name out there in the entrepreneurial world because he has let me put it here. I'm gonna write it down here just as a note. Actually, Annie, would you look that up? See if you could find and paste well, here I can.
Yeah, you can do the quadrant. Do the quadrant.
Okay, I'll look for the quadrant here.
Quadrant cash flow. You will get an image if you pull that up in Google. It's called quadrant cash flow. And so while you're doing that, let me kind of educate John in the Kiyosaki. It's a mind. Well, number 1, it's a mindset. Number 2, you also have to have a plan, right? In the sense that most of us are taught. There it is on the left side, EBI, ESBI. That's it.
So this is his book, Cash Flow Quadrant, and he used to
Rich Dad Poor Dad. This is also mentioned in Rich
So
Dad Poor
that's
Dad.
yeah. He mentions it in
most of
Rich
us-
Dad Poor Dad, and then he actually like outlines it here.
Right. And most
But
of us, right, most of us are under the employee mode. And so we're trading our time for money. And then those of us who are self-employed in the small business sense, you basically bought yourself a job. You didn't really, it's true. It's very, very true. This will transform your thinking. I mean, I've read his book. I've listened to the audio. It's awesome. And then the BI side, you're a business owner, but you're also an investor. I mean, I can have a $5 million debt. Does it matter how much I have in debt? But it's not bad debt. There's good debt and there's bad debt. When you're an employee, you buy your White House and you think you own it. No, you don't. That house is debt. It's an expense. It's not asset producing. It's not income.
It's a liability.
It's a liability, right? And the
Yes.
same with self-employed. You bought yourself a job. So that's all it is I don't know that that's necessarily an upgrade from employee to self-employed.
Well, it's a little more fun.
Well, it's more, but you're still trading your time for money.
Yes.
Right? So you're still not having the passive income.
Yeah, believe me, I definitely understand that.
Right? You're not, because you're working now. I'm on that side for the short term in order for me to get to the BNI side. Right? And that's
Gotcha.
the point I'm trying to make. For me, that's how it's going to work. Yes, I was an employee for a long time. Yes, I was self-employed. So I've done the left quadrant. Now I'm doing the right.
Good for you.
You know what? I'm monetizing my house. I'm renting a room in my house. Guess what? My house is no longer a liability. Maybe it's a liability a lot less. And then now I'm also looking at getting 4 units or more for passive income in real estate, so that I can pay for that debt, right? I may have a $500,000 debt on a multi-family building, but guess what? My debt, that's a good debt, because now I have tax deductions. I can expense everything. There's a lot of things I can do.
Sure.
Right? And then the investment part, when I get to the 100 units, now I'm looking at becoming an accredited investor, because I have more than $1 million in assets, because now I have assets, not debt. I don't have liabilities anymore. I have assets. That works for me. That's in a nutshell, right? And people have to figure out what is the business that's going to provide you a passive income, so that you have assets and not liabilities.
Yep, I think that makes perfect sense. I've kind of gone into the S and never got out of the B.
Right. So yeah. So you kind of have to go from employee to self-employed to business owner to investor. So you make your money work for you rather than you work for your money.
Yeah.
That's the goal.
I never made the S to B transition.
Right.
That's great.
So, and people get stuck there because, everybody says, work hard, go school, get an education, but is it the right education, right? As opposed to if you get the education that tells you information about how to invest and how you leverage other people, OPM, other people's money, other people's time. It's OPM, OPT. We have a saying in the Kiyosaki world, OPM, you're using other people's money in order to become an investor, and you're using other people's time so that it frees up your time. Because time is a commodity. Money is not the issue. Knowledge and time is.
We got that's good stuff. And so on a similar track this morning, actually, my wife was talking to me, because remember I was talking about last night all this financial stuff I was dealing with.
Right.
And I was up till 2, and so I was all flobby around today. Well, that's one of those examples of like I could, and she actually told me, she's like, why don't you hire my friend Tasha to do some of that financial stuff with you? And actually, someone else who's been on this Flow forum, I'm thinking about working with her as well to do that. And that would have been great if I had someone else that I was actually paying to do that I'd free up my time to not be staying up till 2 o'clock in the middle of the night, working on this and trying to figure it out. and they possibly would know more. Now, the lady that was on here earlier, she would definitely know more. And now I'm blanking on her name. Anyway, but my friend Tasha, I'm like, I could hire her, but I'm not too sure how much that would save me time because I don't have a trainer. And so it's like feeling out like what experiment is going to be the right one to.
Well, here's the thing, Adam. You're thinking short term. You're thinking short term, right? Yes, because right now you gotta spend the time. So the next question you have to ask as a business owner and as an investor, how much are you willing to put forward in order to get to the eye? And that could be time and money. And it could be a mentorship, it could be training, it could be, so how much time are you willing to put forward in front of that in order to get to your ultimate goal of freeing up your time? That's the short term thinking. And that's the mindset that we need to change. Let me ask you another question. And I know this for a fact. I know somebody who has $45 million in asset worth. Do you know that he has not paid any taxes, zero taxes in the last 3 years because he's an investor? And let me tell you how he did it. He said, do you think that if he was paying almost $1 million when he first became an investor in all his investments? And he said, that's okay, because I've got the money to pay. What I always say, that's a luxury problem. If you have it to pay, just pay it, right? Because it's a luxury problem. But he said, so he was paying that. And somebody approached him and said, hey, John, I'm just going to say John is a name.
That's a good name.
Right. And so this accountant says, this good tax accountant said to him, if I told you that you don't have to pay that $1 million in taxes every year, would that be worth it for you to pay me? Do you know what he's paying the guy just to be a tax accountant? $30,000. Do you think $30,000 is a good trade for $1 million? That's just a number, right? I'm just putting things for you guys to think about. I would pay somebody $30,000 so that I don't have to pay $1 million in taxes. Guess what? That's money well spent.
Yeah.
Right? The same thing for you. Are you willing to put the time investment to train somebody so that in the future you can spend more time with your kids, more time with your wife, take your wife out on dates, go on vacation?
I did that last night too.
Right? That's a no-brainer. I mean, you have to spend it, you have to sacrifice something for something. Nothing is ever free. Right? Yeah. If somebody says it's free, it's not. You're paying something.
Yeah.
In time, in money, in effort, in sweat equity, whatever that is. Right now, I'm putting certain things in place that will allow me to get to the passive income and that I can start to build my cash flow.
That's great.
Good for you.
And John is cheering you on. This is great. You're a good pep talker here, Annie.
I don't know how long that will take, but that's a commitment that I made to myself. You know what? I'm just going to have to figure out how to do this.
And
I'll bet you're going to do it.
Well, the sustainable community is a good start. We were doing the numbers I was doing the numbers with the team, and we're like, holy shit, there's an opportunity here.
Yeah.
Right? And I'm bringing Yannick's in for her renewable energy.
Oh, good.
We had that discussion, and we're already looking at monetizing that feature in the community. So I'm putting things in place that will allow me to get to the I part.
Is it Yannick's or Honix?
I don't know how Honix. Yeah, I always say Yannick's, but I guess he says Honix. I don't know what the right pronunciation is.
It's Spanish, so J's are Jota.
Oh, okay, so it's H. Okay, my bad.
I think there are some times that it has a J to it, but I don't know. But yeah, Honix.
Honix, okay. Right.
Think about laughing at her. That'll help you.
Yeah, so basically, John, that's the Kiyosaki quadrant in a nutshell.
Okay, just a short up in Oregon, where I come from, there's a guy named Les Schwab who has a tire dealership, but he won a big reward for his improvement of his land, all his agricultural land. And he said, well, it was really simple. First, you just had to have 350 tire dealerships, and then you could afford to improve your land. So I think that's kind of along the way. If you can get over that hurdle where your money starts making money for you, then it should be a great time. I hope you succeed, Annie.
Well, I'm having some reasonable success at the moment, so I know I'm on the right direction.
Fantastic. Well
So
done.
Les Schwab's is I'm not showing this, am I? Les Schwab's is this the right one? Okay. That is a tire company, huh?
Well, they're dealership. That is, when you got a flat tire, you go to them, and they're pretty much throughout the Pacific Northwest and up in Washington. And
okay.
And what I remember most about
one here. Yeah, go ahead.
Well, what I remember most about them is that I was coming back from the Portland area over to the east side when there was a big snowstorm. And while I had chains in the back of my car, I had changed cars, they didn't fit. So almost 10 o'clock at night, I saw a Les Schwab dealer. I drove in there and says, help me, because I got to get across these mountains tonight. And the guy not only took out my chains, he said, well, these are Les Schwab chains. I said, how do you know? I don't have a receipt on that. He says, because they look like Les Schwab chains. And basically gave me a new set of chains, put them on the car for $10 at 10 o'clock at night when it's snowing and cold. I will always remember them.
So what did Les Schwab say? All you need is someone to. All he had was
all I had was some old chains in the back of my car. And
no, you said when he was talking about his investing, Les Schwab.
I'm sorry. Yeah, all you need is 350 tire dealerships, and then you can afford to make improvement on your agricultural land.
That's funny. 350 cars.
Yeah. I don't know if you can still get it. There's a book out that he wrote about he was one of the first people that decided to make his employees have a partnership. They got paid for how well the dealership succeeded. And I don't remember all the details about that relationship, but his company did pretty well.
Here, so Les Schwab book. So there, look at that.
You found it. You're amazing.
Performance. Well, that's because I use Google. That's funny. Okay, so we've got Les Schwab here. Oh, you're not seeing the screen I'm showing here. Let me switch up the screen here. New share. There we go.
I don't really want to just do an ad for Les Schwab, but one of the interesting things is if you drive into a Les Schwab dealership, I'll guarantee you probably before you get out of your car, there will be somebody there asking how they can help you. And I've never seen a company that has that kind of employees. Yeah, that's a picture of Les.
Yeah, that's it. That's the thing.
I think he's died now. That's fine. He's dead now.
This book looks like it's been dated a little bit.
Yeah, yeah.
Let's see. Where would I find more about this? If I were to go back to all, and I scroll down to, let's see now, Goodreads or something. Amazon, Goodreads. Let's go look at Goodreads. I'm doubting it has its own webpage by the look of it.
Yeah, I would be surprised.
This is the enlarged image.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep, that's him.
That's a book, I tell you. And so that's not what I want to do. Goodreads. So this thing was published in, what's going on here? I don't want this. They're doing a good job of helping you out here, but Okay, so details, 117 ratings, 14 reviews. Come on, I want dates and stuff. Hardcover, published in 1986. So there you go.
Boy, back in the dark
That's good
ages.
Yeah, I was 6 years old to date myself. I'm supposed to say not to date myself, but that's what I'm doing is I'm dating myself. So that's sort of anyway. Great. So there's Les Schwab. Okay, so what happened with these folks that we're talking about, and about Annie's stuff, is this commitment, passion, and stuff, right? So I want to go back to the topic here that and we've been kind of on a time. Plus, we sort of ramble anyway. That's part of the joy of this. Is we go anywhere we want. And let's see. Did I copy it? No, I still have it on here. There we are. Commitment, passion, and uncertainty. So the quest is to try and my question here is like what do we actually do with it? And the people that are involved, I've actually got my notes here on another page. Where have I got them? Here we are. Okay, yeah. So the question I asked was, which one do you have more control over? Because really there is all this stuff, and nobody said certainty. No one had certainty as like something you had control over, which is good, because when we set out for goals, we often ask ourselves, am I certain it will happen? And one of the problems with that is that if you have certainty, then you have no possibility, because it's just set. This is the thing happening. And then what's the point of even trying, because it's already done? So actually uncertainty is motivating in a weird way, even though you don't have much control over it. And then commitment and passion. And if you're setting your goals, the commitment thing is kind of interesting, because the commitment is something you decide you're going to try it, right? I'm committed to doing whatever I can to make this happen. And passion is this weird hybrid, because you can sort of direct your passions a bit, but really a whole bunch of your passion is tied up in these, physiological things going on in your body that you really don't know what's going on. And this goes back into system 1 and system 2 of your brain. You have your automatic system, which is the system 1, and you have your executive system, which is system 2. And they don't have like a specific place in the brain, except for maybe the ganglia has, maybe it has like, it's just automatic, but other parts of your brain, kind of a mixture of the two things. But we talked about them as they're separate systems, just because it's helpful to think of it that way. And your passion is an automatic system. Part of it is. You can control part of it with your executive system a little bit, and you can sort of direct it and nudge it in certain ways. But commitment is totally in the executive system. So that's something you totally can have control over. Okay. I'm committed to continue to trying this thing. And of course, certainty, we've already explained, that's out of the picture. And where I get some of this from is Joycelyn Campbell, who I've mentioned before, It's Farther to Go. And then also with my clients. I so often come in and work with people who have these passionate ideas of what they kind of want to have. And one of the things about hiring someone is that you also show you've got a certain amount of commitment. Doesn't mean you have total commitment. And especially when you got someone like me coming in and talking to you about like, big juicy desires and stuff, you're like, well, that's not what I committed to. I just wanted you to come and make the place look pretty. Well, that's not what I try to do. I'm happy with that, but I really want it to work for you when I'm in there. And so working on that commitment and passion thing. And Annie, with your quest, I mean, the fact that you've kind of realized since the 20s that was sort of what you've been up to, that's something you're committed to making happen. And commitments are less about having the answer, a certain way to go, right? Going back to the certainty thing. And it's more about saying, I've got this aim that I'm really committed to. And hopefully it's juicy, something that you're really excited about. It's not just because you're grogging it through and going through your, just making it happen through sheer will. You're actually creating systems in your life that encourage you to do this actually automatically a little bit. And
automation, right?
Yeah. And that you kind of have this system. Yeah, motivation is part of it. And that you have these automatic systems that are even on board to make that thing happen. and so it kind of delves a little bit into the passion stuff. So that's pretty exciting, and I appreciate that we had a mixed response here of people saying commitment and passion. And Annie, you said both. So
Yes.
you have complete control over commitment, but we don't have complete control over passion. So we do have some control. But that sometimes will have women. Sometimes you don't
disagree.
Okay.
I do. I disagree. And even certainty, those three things, it's a trifecta, right? The certainty is your probability. And it's correlated to your commitment and passion.
Okay.
If you're committed, then you can predict your certainty to an extent. You see what I'm saying? That's why I don't disagree that the certainty is not, you can't control that. Yes, you can. Let me give you an example. And this is something that has happened in my life. When I was going to school for my undergrad, and when I started my undergrad, I said, okay, I was very specific about, and I was very committed about my goals. And I said, I will get my degree done in 5 years of night school. I don't know what that means, but or how that's going to happen, but that's my timeline, that's my deadline, that's my due date. And do you know that I did it, including standing up to 6 weddings in that 5 years? That's not an easy thing to do, but that's commitment and that's passion.
Wait, you were married 6 times?
No, I wasn't married 6 times. I was standing up to 6 weddings. 6 of my friends got married at the same time. And if you know anything about getting married, that's a lot of effort and a lot of time carved out, right? It's like it was disrupting my, okay, I can't go to school. No, I got to keep going to school. And then I got to do these, I got to attend and stand up to these 6 weddings, including my own. In that 5-year time period, I mean, I had 1 year where I had everybody got married in the same year or something. It must have been in the water. I don't know. You know, it's like, okay, why is everybody getting married? And everybody had challenges in their wedding. So it was, but I kept going. I'm like, I'm going to keep going. I'm going to, go to school. I'm going to finish that finish line. 5 years.
Annie, I want to congratulate you on doing that night school. I did the same thing, and I understand how hard it is to work a full time and then go to school.
Right.
But good for you. And
my degree was not art or women's studies. It was computer science.
Okay.
It had to be the most difficult major that you could think of that I went after.
Sure. In this conversation, I keep thinking, I think it was Star Wars, where the guru, whoever he was telling the novice, don't try, do. And that I think is a important thing to remember.
There is no try, do.
Yes.
Right. You just have to, okay, you may not know the how, but you know that's, and I had a mentor. I was fortunate enough to have a mentor, and the mentorship is very important. So if you have a goal, you find somebody who's done it successfully. Then right, again, how much effort am I willing to put, how much investment am I willing to put up front in order to get to my goal? If that means mentorship, if that means I got to coach somebody to free up my time, at that point, Adam, you find somebody qualified so you don't have to spend as much time coaching that person or training that person. Because if you found somebody who's qualified, you don't have to do that. It's already freed up your time. If you got to find somebody who's a little bit of a dummy, then that's not doing you any good. So you find somebody who's smarter than you and who has the expertise in the financial aspect so that you don't have to do it. That's the point. You just know enough to say, okay, I need to get to this point.
That's good advice, and I got feedback, but I only have 3 minutes left. So we're gonna go switching gears. Next time is not commitment, passion, and certainty. It's something else. What we're gonna do is we got where'd it go? Where's my I don't know where my page went. It's like, has you asked the question? Well, that's weird. Anyway, 10-second thing we can do for each other to help us on our quests. John, something we could do in 10 seconds to help you on your quest.
I think just have this next Friday and give me the date again.
June 2nd. Or July 2nd. July 2nd.
Oh, okay. I had June, not July. That makes.
Well, it's because I said June.
Okay. Well, you had me confused.
There we go. Annie.
All right. Go, Annie.
Well, I'm sorry. What was it now? My ask?
So,
Are we on the ask?
Yeah, and I don't have my prompt page, which I don't know why I don't have the prompt page. But I now end these with a 10-second ask. So something other people could do for you like in 10 seconds that would help you on your quest.
Wow. It's not going to be a 10 seconds, so I think I'm going to skip this one because it's not going to be 10 seconds. I guarantee you that.
Oh, okay. Well,
give it a 10-second thing.
Give it a try, and I'll help you whittle it down. What was the thing you're thinking about saying?
You know what? I need to find real estate deals that gives me a cash flow.
Okay.
That's not 10 seconds, but that's the ask.
So, real estate deals. What would that look like?
Well, that's the thing. This is not a 10-second ask because if you find a fourplex, right, that's $300,000, for example, right? What is the rent on each of the units? Is it fully occupied? There's a lot of variables. That's why I said it's not a 10-second ask.
But there's
a good deal has to be evaluated.
There's little parts along the way though that could be part of it. So if we could ask about it.
Find me the deal first, right?
Well, you could have just right there, the 10 seconds of telling us kind of what you're looking for helps us have in our mind, and we might get a little bit closer. So it worked out. Right. Thank you guys for coming. And as usual, I enjoy learning with you, and keep the sparks flowing.
Thank you, Adam.
Thank you, Adam. Later.
Bye.
Bye.